Because I'm a great example of somebody who got to live his dream. My dad sold vegetables on a corner grocery store, and I got to race in Formula One, the fastest, most sophisticated, most technologically advanced racing cars on the planet. And then in the Indy 500. And it was a phenomenal time of education because it's a sport that pushes people right out to the edges and to the boundaries of what might be possible. Now, I don't pretend to know how each of you operate your piece of your business. So I'm going to take my time to peel the curtain back a little bit, if you like. Just give you a bit of an insight into how success happens in one of the most colorful, expensive, and obviously one of the most dangerous sports in the world. Hands up, has anybody here ever driven at 200 miles an hour? Intentionally? Anyone ever sold at 200 miles an hour? But to give you an idea, 200 miles an hour, you'll cover the full length of a football field every second. And do you know today, it's not even considered fast. Do you know today, you're not even allowed past your rookie test at the Indy 500 if you can only do 200 miles an hour. You're not allowed into the high racing groove if you can only do 200. You're considered a hazard. And when you strap yourself into an 850 horsepower turbocharged car and you go down the front straight at Indy, you're doing about 220 miles an hour coming into the first corner. It's a pretty scary place. And I was told the reason I couldn't break 200 mile an hour average speed barrier was I didn't understand the technique. I was told to go walk down the pit lane and ask a veteran what the difference in style is from Formula One to the Indy 500. I walked down to a good friend of mine, Mario Andretti, and asked him to please tell me what I didn't understand about this technique. He said it's very simple. He said the next time you go out, when you're coming down the long front straight, he said, tell your brain to tell your foot not to come off the gas pedal until after you turn the steering wheel into the corner. So I go out. I clearly see it in my mind. I'm strapped in. This thing is rocketing down the straight about 219, 220 miles an hour. I'm flat on the gas. I see the first corner coming. I remember exactly what he said to me. And then the corner's getting really close. And the closer I got, I'm not sure I'm brave enough to do what he said. And then I got really close and I suddenly thought, do you think he told me the truth? And then I realized the speed we were running, I trusted my life to Mario. Then I realized trust is the very foundation of the great teams who get to go celebrate on that place called the Victory Podium. And you never build trust faster in our business than sharing what you know with the people beside you to help them get better. But hands up those who think the speed of doing business got faster in the last 10 years. Now, when I say that, sometimes people get a bit scared. They think, we're already going as fast as we can. We're already shoving as much into every day as we can. But remember, in my business, it's not about going faster, it's about being faster. And being faster has two key elements. Right people in the right positions doing the right things. But an even more important element of being faster in my business is the ability to remove the speed bumps that might be slowing you down. Of the three teams in my business who were regarded as the most creative and innovative, anybody know what was funny about this thing in the 60s when they brought it to Indy? They put the engine in the back here, and they went back to Europe and dominated for 3 years while everybody caught up on this new design of racing car. Now, the reason I showed you just these three examples, do you think it's a coincidence that just these three nameplates, Lotus, McLaren, and Ferrari in Formula One, in the last 65 years of the official FIA Formula One World Championship, do you think it's a coincidence that just these three nameplates have won more races and more world championships than every other nameplate added together in 65 years? Do you think it's a coincidence they happen to be regarded as the most creative and innovative? Innovation violates tradition in our business. It is the very lifeblood of success. It is the rich vein that runs through every member of the successful teams who end up on that victory podium in a position to celebrate. What got you to where you are today may not be good enough to get you where you want to go. And when our teams get pushed to the edge, sometimes they're asked to go beyond their best. You may be asked to go beyond your best. Is how fast can you get fast? Let me show you what the 5 factors of fast might look like. A team or a company only becomes fast when enough people in it become fast. Now, if you are asked to stretch and grow in the next coming quarter, year, 2 years, 5 years, and if you don't like it, if it gets uncomfortable, let me ask you a question. Do you think you could get comfortable being uncomfortable? Everybody has a to-do list. It's really good. A to-stop list might be even better. Make sure all day you're doing the right things as opposed to doing things right. You will not decide your future. You will decide your habits. And your habits will then decide your future. Because the greatest power we all possess is the power to choose. Choose whether anything we heard today goes over our head or we actually catch a nugget, take it away with us, be able to use it and potentially radiate it to the people within our sphere of influence. But if you made the choice to add to your giftedness, you can't help but get better. And I promise you, a better you makes a better us. But here's my very last question to everybody. How fast can you get fast? As fast as you want. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.